Hey guys, how we doing today? So today's post is um not a fun one. It's not really a happy one, but I take you guys with me on the good, the bad, the ugly, all the things. So today we had a mishap. I will 99% human error. This one's on me, but my experiences you guys can learn from. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So, what happened today was my Katahdin Katahdins are hair sheep. I'm like at the tail end of my lambing season. So, um, I'm pretty much at the end of it. All I have left are a couple of girls that did not take like on the first cycle. And sometimes that happens where they don't take on their first heat, and so you just leave the ram in there and he takes care of his business. We use something called a marking harness. It just like goes around his front and then to the back, and then he does his thing. And it's like there's like a chest piece that has um a marker on it, but it's like a crayon. And so when he breeds them, when he mounts them and tags them, there's like a big old whatever color you choose spot on their butt. So that's how you know. So that's how I know. So everybody was tagged, everything was fine. I only have like two ewes left to go. It was kind of a whirlwind, which is great. I like that to get it all done. But I had two leftovers that like didn't take on their first. So one of the girls, her name is Linda, not a first time mom. She's been doing this a hot minute. I would have to look at my records to remember exactly how old she is. But anyway, not her first rodeo is what I'm trying to say. So she was due according to my records in a month. Okay, so she got bred the first time. I wrote it down. I leave my ram in there the whole season. She got tagged again a second time about 3 weeks after, which is coincides with their heat cycle. And so I knew that she didn't take on her first cycle, which clearly I was wrong about given how the story ends. So she is left out in the pasture. Since she has a month left, I don't need to keep her like confined in a stall or anything. So she and then my other straggler were out in their pasture with my livestock guardian dog named Siva, and they're just doing their life, right? I'm not paying too close attention to them yet because they have a month yet, so I'm not terribly concerned about it. But I went out this morning and she came in to get grain in the morning. And as soon as I saw her, I was like, she lambed. I instantly, as soon as I saw her, I'm like, she's not pregnant anymore. Crap. So, got her in the barn, got her stalled up, went out looking, and then I found the baby, which was deceased. So, let me tell you about why I think that happened. I wasn't there, so I don't know if the baby was stillborn. But it did have like some blood on it that is consistent with, I think, Siva probably I think she probably like mauled it to death, is what I'm going to get at. That sounds terrible, but let me explain why this is some user error, as in human error, as in me. So, first of all, people, I think a lot of times have this kind of misunderstanding that an Anatolian Shepherd dog, all livestock guardian dogs, are supposed to just like come from the womb trained, and you just like drop them out in the field and they're like these incredible, amazing, perfect creatures that never make mistakes, which is ridiculous because they're living things, they're not robots, they don't come pre-programmed. And lambing, kidding, foaling, calving, anything that is new life being birthed into the world is kind of a crazy experience. I mean, it's can be loud if you have a ewe or um, a doe or whatever animal we're talking about. Sometimes they can be very vocal because it's not the most pleasant experience in the world. But there's just a lot of newness. There's new hormones. There's new smells in the air. There's blood. There's fluids. There's like all kinds of things happening. And they have to be, I don't want to say desensitized to it, but they need to be exposed to it more than just once. So I never have my livestock guardian dogs out and have animals giving birth out in the pasture with dogs that have never done it before, because it will end like what happened to me today. I'm not saying that they're going to go out there and go crazy and like just like murder everything as it's being born and they're like, this must be destroyed. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is they can be extremely curious. They get too curious, they get too carried away, and what may start out as like trying to clean the baby, trying to help out and lick the baby, can really escalate quickly. It can escalate by the mom saying, get away from my baby, and maybe trying to headbutt the dog. Some dogs don't take too kindly to that and get pretty irritated by it and can lash out. It can escalate by if they're licking and trying to clean the baby and the baby lets out a scream, that can make the dog like, whoa, what the heck is, I don't know what this is or what I'm supposed to do with it. That's very, very easy for those things to happen. They don't know. They need to be told, it's okay, we're going to leave it, but it's okay, and reassured what they're even supposed to be doing and what they're not supposed to be doing. The other thing that I think people right away, if they go out there and they see dead stock, as in babies, and I don't know that that's what she did. I don't know that for sure. That baby could have been DOA'd. And I think that's the other thing too, is people just assume that, oh my gosh, my dog went out and killed whatever. And that may not be the case. The baby may have been stillborn, and some livestock guardian dogs will start to eat whatever to get rid of evidence. Now, I've never had that happen. I've never had where my dogs will eat anything. Like, people will ask all the time if they take out a coyote or a fox, do they eat it? No, mine never do. They just leave it there, and then they're just like, hey mom, look what I did. Pretty cool, huh? But they don't eat it. Like, they're not hunting. They don't extricate things to hunt and eat. They're extricating it to get rid of a threat. So that's kind of how that goes. So I don't know for sure what happened because I wasn't there. I'm assuming that she got overzealous at some process or at some point in the process, and it was an accident. That's what I am pretty positive what happened. I'm not excited about it. I'm not thrilled about it. And for people out there, I know some big breeders that will say, I've never had this issue. I've never had any of my dogs chase livestock. I've never had any of my dogs kill any of my livestock. I've never, because we're superior and we have superior genetics and we're superior this and that and the third. And then when you talk to them, they're just smart about how they run their operation, the same way that I try to be smart about running my operation. You try to set your dogs up to succeed and not fail. Things like this, you wouldn't willingly have this happen. Had I known that you was going to deliver, she would have never been left out in that pasture. This wouldn't have happened had I known. So be cautious of people that are like, because we're so amazing, we never have bad things happen, because they're lying to you. They're lying to you. That's like a parent that says, my teenage kid has never rolled their eyes at me. They've never sped in their car. They've never snuck out. They never drank a drop of alcohol before they were 21. They never this, never that, whatever. They're probably lying. But that's neither here nor there. So that was kind of a crappy part of my day. That wasn't very much fun for me. So what do you do with your livestock guardian dog? Well, your first season, delivering, kidding, calving, foaling, whatever it is you're doing, you want to allow the dog to be there and be able to investigate. So get some of the smells, get some of the sounds, get everything under their belt, and exposure, and make sure you're there and you're using a really calm voice, and that's okay, and we're going to leave it, and good girl or good boy or whatever it is that you're doing, and repeat that. Repeat it. Same thing with breeding season. Like a lot of times, the first breeding season of livestock, the dogs are like, what is going on? There's a lot of charged excitement, a lot of different pheromones, different smells, different hormones, different this and that, and they don't like it. They see breeding happening and they're like, whoa, that's just not natural. And so they try to stop it, prevent it. So the same thing. The first season of just about anything for them, it's going to take some direction and some guidance, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is absolutely normal, and that is absolutely okay. So today was my fault. My fault. And I've been doing this a while. And you know what? We still make accidents, have accidents, make mistakes. Yeah, that's what we do. So and as far as the sheep goes, as far as the ewe goes, for whatever reason, she came in heat again a second time and was bred, even though she took on the first time. The lamb was completely developed. It was fully formed. It was to term, a nice little ram lamb. I don't know. It's nature. Nature does what she wants sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't make any sense. So I'm not beating myself up over it. I feel kind of bad about it. It sucks. Losing anything is not fun, but it's nature of the beast. So what do we do going forward? Just continued exposure with her. She is in a pasture that is adjacent to all the moms and babies. So she's never seen lambs before. She's never been through a lambing season before. She's never seen, this is all new to her. She's 2, but she's never seen this stuff before. So it's a very new process for her. So right now she's in a pasture where she can see lambs, and so she can see that they run and they play and they yell and they holler and they make noise, and moms sometimes will butt heads over things with their babies, and like she's learning, and she's watching Samson, who's another one of my livestock guardian dogs, who's the closest dang thing to perfect I can find. She's watching him interacting with them through the fence, and so she's really getting a full immersion of all this stuff. Also, I'm going to be with Linda, the gal that delivered, and unfortunately, whose baby we lost. I'm going to milk her out, get her colostrum in the freezer so that that's not wasted. You always want to have colostrum on hand. And then we don't milk our sheep. Most people don't. I've heard of some people that do it. Most don't. I will not keep her like in milk as a meat sheep. So I'll milk out her colostrum, save that, and then she'll go on like a dry regimen. No grain. She'll just be getting hay to get that milk to stop, because we don't want her to keep producing, and we don't want her to get mastitis. I just watched my cat fall off the counter. That was entertaining to watch. Anyway, so that's the plan here. That's what we're doing. That's what we're going to do going forward. And I have one ewe left that had been tagged in the fall, Miss Betty. Again, she's not a first timer, not her first rodeo. But I'll tell you what, last season, she had a retained placenta for a while, and she was on antibiotics, and it was like a whole thing. And I was like, I was just questioning her reproductive health after that. But I'm like, I'll put her with the buck. We'll see what happens. She was tagged a bunch of times, but at really odd intervals that did not make any sense. It wasn't like an every 3 week where she kept coming in cycle. And I don't think she's bred. I just don't. I mean, if she is, she's got like another good month yet. I think she's open. But if I really wanted to, I could do a blood test on her to find out, but I'm just doubting that she is. But whatever. That's the long and short of what happened today. Mistakes happen, accidents happen. It's okay. Learn from it. Do better the next time. Implement it into your routine going forward, and don't be afraid to talk about things that you mess up on, because everybody does sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.